This video is brought to you by Moomoo. If you want up to $14,000 in free stock, you can sign up for Moomoo using the link in the pinned comment section or description down below. What's going on, everyone? Hootmoney here with another video for you guys today. Today, we are going to be going over Blue Apron Holdings, or APRN stock, one of the highest shorted stocks in the entire market. Currently sitting at 30% short interest. However, that short interest value was a lot higher as of last week at 50% short interest. So short sellers are trying to get out of this stock. It also has the world famous investor Joe Sandberg behind this, holding a very large chunk of the company. So because of that, people want to rally behind Apron and send it to the freaking moon. Anyways, we are going to be going over everything Apron has to do with in today's video. So drop a like if you guys enjoy this content. And if you wanted to join Hootmoney trade alerts, I'll show you guys some of the profit loss that we have been seeing recently on the screen. We're heating up real good. You can join that using the link down below in the description or pinned comment section. But with that being said, let's get right into today's video. So as you guys can see right here, we have Blue Apron Holdings, Bed Bath & Beyond, Party City, the top 3 ranked stocks on r/short squeeze. And with that, we have seen a nice dramatic increase in the share price of Apron, up 19% on the day, even higher when it was seeing its peaks earlier over here at 615. Still looking like a solid uptrend on the day. However, money flow is coming down on this minute chart, so we are seeing some consolidation. This could be an intraday top. We'll see what happens. There could be a nice bull flag as well, and then break out to the upside as well. Maybe we'll find out by going over the rest of today's video updates. So if we scroll out all the way to the weekly chart, we haven't even seen the whole what this stock can do if it does short squeeze, because you can see the volume's up. We're coming off a nice buy signal here on Lux Algo right there. We got the very good market cipher strategy here where you got big blue wave, smaller blue wave. So this is the big blue wave and this is the smaller blue wave. So everything looks good there on the weekly chart. And again, guys, we are looking for these purple candles to turn into green, and that's when you might want to consider selling. It's still too early to tell, right? And with all of this volume that we're seeing right now, there could be a much larger move than we are anticipating right here. Now, should you buy right now, right here? Well, it is up a lot, so there's always the chance for a nice retracement. Like you can see right there, right here, there's always good little dips. Even today, with today's price action, you did catch a nice little dip right there. So I would say always stay for dips. However, the momentum could be moving back up. And as you guys can see here on the 4-hour chart, it's getting a nice strong buy signal coming off a nice little oversold blue wave there on Market Cipher. And if you guys are wondering, by the way, this is a combination of Lux Algorithm, that's on the top, and then Market Cipher. Both of them are technical analysis tools to aid with technical analysis. Moving into that hourly chart, you're starting to see it be overshot just a little bit, but with that, it does have a green RSI, meaning that it could continue to go. We're still on that buy signal right here on the hourly, so there's still definitely room to run. The one thing that I would watch out for is just be mindful of this upper level right here at around $7 per share. That's where it sold off last time. It could be a good short-term top to, take some profits for a small pullback, right? It doesn't have to be the end of the run, right? But there's probably going to be some type of selling pressure when it does in fact hit that. And you can also consider this little area a supply zone. And how you do a supply zone, you basically do the top, or you do the bottom of this price action right over here. If we scroll right in, you can see that this consolidated in this little area, right? Seeing a low of about right here, and then a high of about right up here. So in between those two yellow lines would be considered a supply zone. And that could be why we're also seeing some of the selling pressure when we did breach that line right there. So these are all things you guys should be watching out for in Apron. Just some educated TA right there to look out for. 5-minute chart as well. We'll take a brief look, and it did give that sell signal. So I'm definitely expecting some consolidation here before it does make its next move. It could come down a little bit more. Different bouncing points would obviously be all the way back here at about $5 per share, but it could also bounce over here at VWAP, which is 561. That's probably a bit more likely. If it gets really oversold, it'll get into this green area, 536. But at this point, if it does get down to this area, I expect it to go back all the way to retest 5, and then it might get a move. But that's not what we want. What we want is that bounce off of the VWAP right there. So I spent a little bit of extra time there on the TA just to give you guys levels and different things to watch out for. If we're looking at the Ortex data, you guys can see that there is 30% short interest. So this has actually gone down over the recent week. And if we zoom in on this chart, you will see that it went from 51% down to 29%. Now, I believe the reason that shorts were probably covering this stock is because the free float actually did come down. If you see right here, it went from 17 million free float shares to 7 million to 9 million. Now it is hovering at about 10 million free float shares. So because of that, the lower float, it increased short interest right there to 51%. And since then, it did start coming down. And if you actually look at the total number of reported short interest, that has been coming down too. So again, shorts are trying to come out of this stock. When shorts are trying to exit a stock like they are right here, it's probably because they're scared of a short squeeze or something of that nature. Making liquidity tight with that lower float could also be a reason right there. It's got 1 day to cover, 25% cost to borrow, 93% short utilization. So honestly, not the craziest short squeeze stats in the world, but if you're just looking at that big 30% short interest, it is pretty crazy because not many companies of this size have 30% short interest. Short squeeze score is number 6 on Fintel and number 4 for the gamma squeeze score as well there on Fintel. So again, tons of momentum here on this stock. I mean, it's hard to stop this thing. About 2 hours ago, they got down to 300 shares. 8 minutes ago, they found 25,000, so they found a bit more shares there. Borrow rate's been pretty steady there at 25, and here is the short exempt volume, which each and every single day has about 50,000 or more, seeing highs of about 221,000 right there. That is a lot, not the most that I've ever seen, but still, if you're having a short squeeze, if there's anything signaling that there's not enough shares to go around, if there's a liquidity crisis, it's going to be that short exempt volume, and they're dishing it out each and every single day to satisfy demand. So they're definitely not in a great spot, and short volume ratio has been above 50% each and every single day. So they're definitely trying to pin this thing, and you can see how much the failure to delivers have gone up over the past few months there, starting at around April of 2022. It's been pretty wild. So that's all we really got here for the Fintel data. Here are some of the funds that have short positions if you wanted to keep track of that. Here are the institutional options flow. So this is most likely trades that are made by institutions right here. And as you guys can see on Friday, I believe that was Friday. Let's check real quick. 8/18, that was Thursday, excuse me. They did, in fact, load puts. We haven't seen anything since then, at least from institutions. Before that, it was pretty bullish there, but it's still not crazy like 1 million plus premiums coming out of it. So it's not the craziest situation. If we're moving into unusual whales right here, you can see this is not institutions. This is just every option trade today that is above $10,000 or premium or more. We're taking away the bid side. So if you sold calls, we're taking that away right now. We're just looking at the general sentiment here, and it is very, very bullish. If we pull up the charts, we can see how bullish, and that is 94% bullish. Most people are going for September 16th, estimating that a squeeze could come within the next month. So that is very, very good. If we go to the open interest changes here, we can see what is actually changing. A lot of people ended up selling these calls right here, the $3 1021s. That was the biggest open interest change. These are from Friday. I don't know why I said again. This is the first time saying it, but anyways, these are from Friday right here, these open interest changes. So it doesn't mean anything for today's price action. Obviously, they sold these calls on Friday. They would have made more money if they just held them. So it doesn't mean too much, but it's mostly calls. It's mostly calls with the heavy open interest changes, which is a pretty decent sign. Moving into the Greeks, we can get an idea of what max pain is. So max pain is basically where the most amount of call option buyers and put option buyers lose money, to where the market maker likes to pin the price by the expiration date. In this case, it is September 16th, and that is at $4 per share. Apron sitting at $5.75. There's going to be that downside potential pressure from it hitting that max pain value. Moving down here, you can see the gamma exposure, which is very, very good. There's nice gamma all the way up to $8 per share. So if Apron does start running, it could potentially slow down a little bit once it gets to that $8 to $9 per share. My personal price target, this is probably a good time to say it, I think $10 to $15, anywhere in that range could be really good. I said $15 for Bed Bath & Beyond way back in the day when it was at like $6 per share. It ended up blowing that out of the park. It really depends on how much the market adopts it. I think the lower end of $10 a share for a nice squeeze, that is a good target. I mean, if you're asking for more, you could be getting a little greedy. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but that could be where the greed starts to step in. And no, you don't want to be greedy, not in this manipulated market. Here is the implied volatility for Apron. As you guys can see, it has jumped up in August up to 200% implied volatility. Typically, this does mean that there is added risk. You can see these plateaus right here in July, beginning of July. We'll go back to Apron's chart just to see what it's all about. Back here in the beginning of July, it was a decent time to sell when implied volatility was pretty high. So always pay attention to this. iVolatility.com. Also, if you just go to Options Industry Council, you can see these implied volatility charts. That's where I get it. It's absolutely free, and it's a good resource, right? You might be thinking, I'm early on this play. You look at implied volatility. If it shot up to the sky like it was with Apron at 200% implied volatility, all the way over here, we can't see it all the way over here, then maybe that would say, okay, well, there is some added risk because they are pricing these options very expensive right now. Anyways, that's all I really got. The one last thing that I have to say here is that S3 Partners is still reporting 55% short interest for Apron. I know that it did go down there on Fintel and on Ortex. However, S3 Partners, I do find, has much more accurate short interest numbers. So because of that, take that as you will. 55% short interest right there from S3 Partners. Anyways, my friends, that's about it for the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. As always, remember to drop a like on it if you guys did enjoy. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and want more video updates just like this one. If you guys wanted to bag up with Hootmoney and other VIP members on Apron, on Weber, on other short squeeze plays, Bed Bath & Beyond, etc., you can do so using Hootmoney trade alerts. It's that first link in the description, first link in the pinned comment section down below. Anyways, my friends, I'm out. See y'all later.